Horus, the Elder, the second flame of creation. This is Ancient the Architect, and what you're about to hear is not simply a lecture. It is the unveiling of one of the most veiled mysteries in the sacred metaphysical architecture of the cosmos. Today, we pierce the mist and speak of Horus the Elder, the second flame of creation, the divine current of conscious power who emerges from the innermost marriage of eternal will and sacred wisdom. We do not speak of myth. We do not speak of idol. We speak of Logos, the living bridge between the eternal and the manifest. The ancient Egyptians, in their unmatched genius, veiled the mystery of the cosmos in the story of Isis and Osiris, from whose spiritual union came forth Heru-Ur, the firstborn of light, known to initiates as the Elder Horus. But what is this Elder Horus? What flame does he carry, and why is he called the Avenger, the Restorer, the Heir? To answer that, we must ascend the ladder of being itself. At the summit of all things is the unutterable source, the invisible flame, what the wise referred to as the infinite unmanifest, the absolute. This is the primal undifferentiated oneness, beyond sound, beyond light, beyond vibration. But in the silence of that absolute stillness, there arises a first stirring, a spark within the flame. It is the first point of intention, the emanated nucleus of divine being that conceives manifestation without yet becoming form. This is the crown of spirit, the indivisible self that will pour itself forth through the many. And from that first outpouring, there emerges a second radiance, not a mirror, not a copy, but an active current of conscious power. This is the second Logos, the embodied intelligence of the self, the very word of the flame, whose function is to reveal the hidden and to organize the formless. This is Horus the Elder, the word before the worlds. Horus as the second flame is not born in time. He is the timeless word spoken in the silence of the absolute. In the Egyptian cosmology, he is generated in the womb of the unseen, born of Osiris and Isis before their earthly incarnation, conceived not by act, but by principle, will and wisdom in eternal embrace. This is why the sacred texts say that Horus was born while his parents were still in the womb of their mother. It is a riddle of the soul, an image of metaphysical reality. For the universe itself was pregnant with divinity before it had shape, and Horus is the first movement of that latent divinity into creative expression. Thus, Horus is the architect of form, the one through whom the divine self begins to shine. He is not a messenger, but the message itself. He is the unifying intelligence that governs the descent of spirit into matter and guides its return from illusion to truth. This is why ancient initiates said, "All things were made through him." Horus is the organizing breath that gives shape to the planes of being, the divine thought that orders the heavenly pattern of things and the inner vision within every soul striving to rise. The silent flame and the uttered word. At this sacred level of metaphysical structure, the self exists in two conditions, the unspoken and the uttered. The unspoken is the still perfection of being. It is the I am, veiled and complete. The uttered is the word, the movement of the self outward as vibration, tone, and intention. Horus is this word. The book of coming forth by day calls him the word that suffers and resurrects, the blood that wets the crown of Adam. This is not a tale of gore, but of descent, the willing sacrifice of the divine self to dwell within and permeate creation. The word becomes man, the spirit takes on form, and the second Logos becomes entombed in the illusions of time. This is the divine secret of Hay-Tep, the peace that passes understanding. Hay-Tep is not absence of conflict, it is the restoration of alignment. It is what occurs when the word returns to the source, not by erasing matter, but by redeeming it. The ordeal of Horus, therefore, is not a lament. It is the very architecture of redemption. For it is through his victorious struggle, not his death, that the higher principle reclaims the throne and binds chaos to law. The masculine wisdom, flame in motion. Horus, the elder, is also wisdom, but not the passive, contemplative wisdom of still reflection. He is wisdom in motion. He is the divine masculine, not as gender, but as power, the outward thrust of the spirit that divides light from darkness and calls order from chaos. He is the flame that cuts, divides, and forms. The ancient Hermetic texts say wisdom is the master workman, rejoicing always before the face of God. That is, Horus rejoices because he sees directly the plan of the eternal and fulfills it precisely. This is why he bears the two feathers. The two feathers upon the head of Horus are the twin emblems of divine consciousness. One signifies the radiant principle of individuality, the unchanging light of the higher self. The other reflects the shifting light of personality, the temporal self shaped by experience. Together, they crown Horus as the one who governs both the eternal and the evolving, the fixed and the fluid. These feathers are not symbols of status, they are seals of mastery. They declare that he moves with dominion through both spirit and form. He is the Lord of equilibrium, the Logos who holds the sun and moon within himself, uniting inner essence with outer expression, and reconciling the dualities of light and shadow within the soul. He is crowned with the double plume, not as decoration, but as declaration. These are not mere feathers. They are the solar and lunar fires brought into perfect union beneath his will. The left is the moon, the right is the sun, and together they rise upon his brow as testimony that he has balanced the inner and the outer, the hidden and the seen. He no longer strives toward the light. He is the light in motion. He is the one whose essence absorbs the fallen fragments of experience and renders them whole. He does not reject the lower. He masters it, transfiguring the base into spiritual nourishment. As the divine wisdom of the second flame, he is the silent power who clears the unseen path, not through destruction, but through transmutation. He is the opener of ways, whose understanding pierces illusion and turns resistance into ascent. When he is called Urni Tenten, it is not just a title, it is a metaphysical revelation. It means that the second Logos has completed the spiral of selfhood and now functions as pure spiritual intelligence. He acts from Atma Buddhi, from the center of divine harmony. He is not becoming the Word. He is the Word spoken clearly across all planes. The adversaries of ignorance, Set and his kind, are handed over to him, for he now governs the cycles from within. This is Horus when he is no longer searching. This is Horus as flame. This is the one crowned not by lineage, but by initiation. This is Urni Tenten, the God in full stride. The Logos and the sheaths. To fully know Horus is to know that he is not separate from the self. He is the self in action, the divine principle made luminous. In every world, he appears in a cloak fitted to its laws. On earth, he may appear as king, healer, or destroyer. In the soul, he is conscience, clarity, and the burning thirst for truth. He is the reason you cannot rest when you are living beneath yourself. He is not merely a God. He is God consciousness, active and living within your field. He speaks to you in intuition, in crisis, in dreams, in silence. And the closer you draw to the source, the more clearly you recognize the word within your own being. The return of the second flame. At the close of each cycle, the word returns to the silence. Horus, having gone forth, gathers all that has been transformed and returns it to the one who sent him. But this return is not retreat. It is ascension. The Word, once fragmented, becomes whole again, and so it is with us. For every soul carries within it the same word, awaiting to be spoken fully, clearly, fearlessly. The world awaits that utterance. The cosmos longs to hear your true sound. The Logos is not merely out there, it is in you. This is Ancient the Architect, and this is the flame of Horus, the second Logos, the Word that was in the beginning, the Word that is becoming again.